All right, welcome to another brightly, sprightly episode of Beyond the Plate with Chef Amrita Raichand and me, Hrishi K. What's up, what's up, how are you? I hope this is the last week I'm spending in studio without you. And next week we're together again.
Absolutely, and this time you are the guilty one because you're traveling away from this hot Mumbai.
True that, 4 days in the hills can't do anybody anything, any wrong.
Absolutely. Okay, Rishi, every time I walk into the studio, after our recording, I see you quietly go into your office and sneak in a little dabba. Today, I want to know, what have you carried in your little tiffin box?
Today it is kaddu vegetables, kaddu ki sabzi. There is a rasedar aloo, which is a potato curry. There's some rice and there's some curd. There's also a sandwich with jalapeno peppers.
Nice.
And there's a cold bottle of water. I love cold water in the summer. I know lots of people say you shouldn't drink excessively cold water, but
Yeah.
it just does the job for me. It quenches my thirst. Why do you ask, by the way?
I asked because that's going to be our topic for today. Today, I'm going to be covering office lunch tiffin for adults because I think it's a very, very important discussion to be had. And I'm also going to evaluate your lunch that you just told me you carry, but I'm going to do it after I give you a
I'm
little.
going to interrupt you. You know, in my home state in Tamil Nadu, dosa and idli, which is dosas and idlis and vadas, are called tiffin. They're not a meal.
Yeah.
Dosas are not had for lunch or for dinner unless you're fasting. Likewise, idlis and vadas, they're just tiffin, which is a light evening snack.
Yes.
The main food is known as the sapad, and all that main food is accompaniments to rice, which is rasam with rice, sambar with rice, kutu with rice, curd with rice. All of that is a meal.
Yes.
But sambar, dosa and vada are called tiffins. So maybe even that, I don't know, did it come from the British? I don't know where.
Yeah, you kind of sneaked in that little bit, and I'm glad you brought that up. Very, very good input actually you've given me. Dosa, idli, all of this is actually a snack. And the word tiffin is derived from the word T-I-F-F, tiff, which, believe it or not, is a slang for diluted liquor that apparently the Brits love to have at lunchtime. Now, there's a very interesting history behind this. When the British established themselves in India in the late 18th century, they couldn't bear the heat of the day and hence adapted their lunch and turned it into something light. Now, since a sahib's lunch, light lunch, may as well be of the liquid variety, hence tiffing, meaning taking a sip of the tiff, the diluted liquor I mentioned above, could have been the mother word that gave birth to the word tiffin, which soon became a peg on which almost anything eaten between breakfast and dinner could be hung. So it could be a light snack, like you mentioned, it could be a little sweet thing, it could be a light meal, but as long as it's munched between breakfast and dinner, it came into the category of tiffin. Interesting, isn't it?
Interesting. And what is the man or the woman who delivers tiffin, as somebody call it?
I like the way it's like a GK, lesson here. Well, obviously we know they're called tiffin walas and dabba walas, and we all know what an amazing job they do, particularly in our city of Mumbai. I mean, it's such a beautiful sight, seeing all the dhoti white with the little cap dabba walas delivering food from homes of people who live really, really far away to their workplace, which again tells you how important having tiffin at work is. Now, I'm not sure if you know that the tiffin delivery market in India has become a huge industry. And in fact, in 2021, Rishi, its estimated worth was over $2 billion. I'm sure it's a lot more given the number of fancy new brands of tiffins that have cropped up very recently. Rishi, by the way, besides India, the school lunchbox has long been an item of interest in post-war America as well, with the National Museum of American History hosting a rather large collection of school lunchboxes, with many private collectors also of the same. Do you have a special tiffin box?
Yeah, I remember as a kid I used to have one. I was a big fan of Phantom, the animated character, the ghost who walks. And I used to have this phantom tiffin box, which I really dug, and I really wore it out. I think all all the plastic got worn out, and then we shifted to steel boxes where there were no animated figures at all, but
Yeah.
healthier always eating out of steel.
The
But I
life
see
becomes
that
boring when you become an adult, doesn't it? Children get all the fun stuff happening.
now, I noticed the Americans and the Japanese and the Western and the Far East friends of ours on this planet have already made their own versions of the Indian tiffin box.
Yes.
If it is just piling up dabbas one after the other, if
Yeah.
that is what you call a tiffin box, yeah.
Yes, that's what a tiffin box is. But though now with urbanization, we've actually moved away from that whole, classic three-tiered tiffin boxes, though a lot of them still carry that. But we have leak-proof boxes, glass boxes, food-grade plastics, even because they're lighter to carry, especially for children. Basically, a tiffin box is also supposed to be convenient and has to have the versatility to be, carried on the go. But today, what I really want to talk about, Rishi, I mean, you know that I have always, particularly specialized in children's food. In fact, my entire career shift was to give healthy food for children. So, staying true to my word, I have an entire playlist of delicious tiffin treats for children, which are up on my YouTube channel, Amrita Raichand Chef and beyond. But since COVID, I've also shifted focus to adults and to teaching people how to become self-sufficient when it comes to cooking for themselves. So whether it's my Mere Ghar Ka Khana, which comes every Friday on YouTube as well, or it is thanks to Beyond the Plate topical recipes that we share, depending on what topic we are covering, I have now started catering to ages, to people of all ages. So, as you must have guessed, today I am going to speak about how to prepare a good tiffin for an adult, especially when it comes to taking it to work, whether you're traveling a long distance, you're going to a shoot, you're going to office like you do, to your studio. It's really, really important to plan and have a good tiffin box. And I'm going to share 10 amazing tips for you to ensure that you do carry a very, very nutritious homemade meal. Because trust me, not only does this help in improving and giving you a healthier lifestyle, it also helps you save money. It helps you manage your weight. Besides, it makes your workday quite enjoyable and keeps you energized. First things first, plan a weekly day where you will decide what are your favorite dishes that you would like to carry for tiffin. Now, these dishes, besides being your favorite, should include all different variety of foods from different food groups. So there should be, a fair amount of protein, whole grains, some fruits, some vegetables. As this afternoon meal, believe it or not, actually provides for 1/3 of our daily nutritional needs. So this exercise saves the trouble of thinking every night, okay, tomorrow what am I going to carry if you pre-prepped, okay? That's tip number one. Now coming to two, keep it simple. Nobody but you need to be impressed by your tiffin. So keep some easy protein options on hand, like some frozen meat, for example, or some tofu, some burger patties. You get a lot of frozen food also nowadays, which you can, not very often, but keep handy for, those days when you really don't have time to prep something elaborate. Maybe some beans, rajma also comes canned. Nicely rinse it, wash it properly, and you can just toss up something with veggies at the last minute. Third, think about what each food will look, feel, and taste like at lunchtime. If to your head it seems messy, mushy, or smelly, it's going to go into the trash. So also understand that some dishes do not reheat very well. Salads, which with a lot of water content, may turn to be soggy. So what do? You remember, Rishi, I shared a lovely Mexican salad recipe last time. That comes with a creamy chili lime dressing. Now, if you use a dressing like that, your salad, nothing's going to happen to it. But if you have a vinaigrette, keep it separately in a small bottle. Carry your, salad leaves and veggies in a separate box and just mix it together when you're ready to eat. How are you doing so far? Are these good tips that you will follow too?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, now I'm going to go ahead to prep. Now I'm going to go ahead with tip number 4, prepping your meals. If you're cooking yourself, what you need to do is perhaps make larger portions, pack them in sealed boxes, refrigerate them or freeze them for the entire work week. You could also save time by chopping vegetables or keeping some part of the recipe creation ready the night before, so that again it's easy to toss it up in the morning. Number 5, stay true to what tiffin actually means. Keep it light, like your dosas and all are actually light food. It's not a very, not very heavy meal, provided you don't eat too much of it. What this does is it prevents that very common mid-afternoon slump that usually you face after having a meal. That also leads to low productivity. Never a good idea. Number 6, utilize dinner leftovers. Rishi, this is something I think we have spoken about earlier in different episodes, but for whatever reason, if you're not one of those organized ones, just do not feel shy of using leftover from the night before. Trust me, you can make amazing sandwiches with leftover vegetables or chicken. You can turn parathas so much healthier by just adding some leftover dal to it. You can make fried rice. You can make burrito bowls. I mean, the list is endless. Like I said, you can type Tiffin Treats on my YouTube channel for an entire list of all of these ideas. Number 7, avoid boring routine lunches by varying texture, flavor, and color to your tiffin, because you have to look forward to this afternoon meal as well. So usually tiffins come with a lot of compartments. Try and use different condiments, like some dips, some interesting sauces, dressings to add that flavor. Then for texture, what can you do? You can carry some, crunchy fruit, some cucumbers, some roasted seeds, papad, all depends on what is your main meal. And you can just add that little bit of excitement in the next compartment. Now, number 8, as an addition to health and taste, even you've carried today some dahi. I told you I'm going to be evaluating your meal as well. I think some calcium-packed foods are really important and a great addition to the afternoon meal. Yogurt you can even mix with a nice, nice sweet fruit and turn it into a dessert. It serves as a great pick-me-up. Even things like, little chunks of cottage cheese, little chunks of regular cheese on the side is really a good snack also, and something just to uplift your afternoon meal. Now, very important, since food is prepared in the morning and carried and kept for a while, food safety is very, very important. So as much as it's important to carry a good meal from home for the afternoon meal, ensure that you're not compromising on the safety. So please refrigerate your food or keep it in an AC room. If you don't have refrigeration, carry, you get these freezer gel packs, which you can easily carry to keep the temperature of your food at a safe level. Finally, partner up with a colleague at work. Find someone who's willing to join you at your healthy lunch table. And when, others are opting for fast food and, snacks, which are not the most, desired, get your buddy, find him, sit down together and chomp up your healthy meal.
All right, that was fabulous. Quickly send in your Ask Amrita questions. 9833943943. We might be able to squeeze in one at the very end of the show. 9833943943. The show comes to you 8:15 to 9 a.m. Mondays on 94.3 Radio 1 on the FM band, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai. 48 hours later, it's on our YouTube channel, Radio 1 International. And if you want to see the recipe of the day, that's on at 94.3 Radio 1 India on Instagram and at Amrita Raichand on Instagram. Chef and Beyond is the chef's YouTube channel. Okay, recipe of the day. What is it?
So, since the last salad was such a hit, the Mexican salad, I thought, why not team it up for this office lunch that was our topic for today, with a delicious Mexican rice. Now, the great thing about this Mexican rice is you can make it with leftover rice, but you can also make it in the classic way the night before and then team it up with whatever you want. You can throw in your chicken, you can throw in your paneer, you can add that salad like I told you, like I've made. But I'm here to teach you how to make a classic Mexican rice, which the base of which is tomatoes. So in my recipe, I've used tomatoes in 3 very different ways. I've got some roasted tomatoes, tomatoes, I've got some canned tomatoes, and I've also got some packet puree. So what I do is, ideally, please use basmati rice, the long grain rice in this. The best part about a classic Mexican rice is the fact that you need to saute this rice on its own. So when you wash the rice, you have to dry it completely, and then in some oil, you cook it out till it's nice and brown. You're literally toasting the rice before you add the rest of the ingredients. And that's the most magical part about this recipe. Then you throw in some chopped onions, some garlic, some jalapenos, and then all these 3 different tomatoes go in, the ones that I mentioned. You cook it out with salt, some oregano, some chili flakes, some cumin powder, and some coriander powder, because these 2 really are very important flavorings of any Mexican meal. Add in some vegetable stock. I have specified the quantity in my recipe, which you can check out on the YouTube channel. It's basically 1:2. So if you have 1 part rice, it's 2 parts of water. And you just allow it to cook on low heat. Do not touch it for 10 to 12 minutes. Once you've added the vegetable stock, if you don't have stock, just add water. And within 10 to 12 minutes, you're going to have really fluffy, amazing Mexican rice. Now, when you're packing it for lunch, just steam it up with, some salad, some leftover chicken, or throw in some vegetables that you have, or some leftover chicken that you have in this Mexican rice that you prepared the night before, and you have a complete meal ready for you.
Yamalicious. Ask Amrita. The section has Preet's question. What types of dishes are best suited for using frozen vegetables like peas, corns, green beans, etc.?
Well, I particularly chose this question for today's episode, Preet, because it goes so well with our theme. These frozen vegetables are the perfect pick for creating a nice, quick meal for yourself when you're carrying it in your tiffin. Also, when you're running out of time, these are the best to just toss up. You can add some rice to it and turn it into a nice vegetable fried rice. You can throw this into your salads, because the best part about these frozen veggies are that they're quick to come together, right? You don't need to spend time in cooking it. You just put it in some water or some warm water, and they are ready to be used. So use it for whenever you are short on time.
Awesome. And we're short of time, which means we have to fly out of here. Beyond the Page shall return next week with Amrita and myself in studio. Take care of yourself, guys. Thank you, Amrita.
Thank you, Rishi. Have a great trip. Lots of love.
Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.